G'day, today we're going to have a look at the weekly challenge. This one is set in Dubai, and it looks like we're going to have a lot of motorways in this one. So it's the week of the 27th of December. Happy New Year. We have unlimited traffic lights. We start with 3 motorways, and we get double the number of motorways every time they are awarded. So let's get going. So hopefully we end up with a lot of motorways. It's always fun to have really crisscrossy looking layout, but let's see how we go. Obviously we are starting with 3, but as long as we can avoid using them, we'll try to. So I'm playing this level in that weird period between when Christmas has happened and New Year's hasn't yet. I hope everyone has enjoyed their holiday period and not been affected too much by anything going on. I'm kind of bummed out that the Ashes is already over for any of my colonial watchers that know what that is. I generally enjoy sort of just getting to mindlessly watch cricket for 5 days at a time. So the third test only taking 2.5 days really means I've got nothing for today and tomorrow. I mean, it's nice to win, but so it does seem like bridges that are already going to be... I'm pretty sure this level generally is pretty bridge heavy. I mean, I realize we're going to have a lot of motorways, possibly, so the bridges might not be too much of a big deal, but certainly if we can use them, we will. I think that probably I've got a bad layout here. There's no point in having this guy traveling away from where he's headed. Let's just loop that around a little bit nicer. See, this is a tricky one because he definitely should be looking after that guy, and in theory this guy should too. But does pull away the 2 guys that are closest to this. But we can just sort of do a nice quick motorway solution for that for now. So I was looking at possibly changing that route too, so let's put that in a little bit more. Let's make them a bit more of a clean route so that guy doesn't have to whip around a corner to get to the bridge. Okay. So this guy is probably close enough that we can use him in here. He is also close enough that this guy could utilize him as well. For now we'll use it as a separate set of houses to this. Again, they're very nice and close, so hopefully this guy doesn't need that many more, even in sort of down the stretch. We'll take the roundabout. Just go without using this guy at all for now. One thing I find you can do if you do have an excess of motorways too is you can use motorways as your emergency network. So say for example this guy starts to overload, we can just grab him and say alright, connect to this, and so for the duration of that overload he can help out, and then you can just take that motorway and put it somewhere else when someone else needs the attention. But we certainly don't want to rely on that. Preferably what we would have is a sustainable network. This guy's getting cornered in a little bit from where these houses are, that any future houses to connect to him are going to have to whip around on there or connect via a highway. Take the motorways over the bridge. I have used all my bridges, but obviously I can use a motorway as a bridge and they will travel faster on it. So even say someone like this, we could put a motorway from there to there and that'll be more efficient than using this bridge. So the fact that we get 2 of them is probably the reference. Okay, so this is a tricky little layout change here too, because now these guys are incredibly close to that. So I think that what we want to do is get rid of that, give these guys the motorway to connect up there, Move it out of the way so we can see. Then again, we will, this guy goes from being... goes from getting another set of houses to inheriting another. What's our way to set that up? Around about in there? No. Don't really want, because I mean that's going to make that an intersection as it is. I mean, I suppose we do have lights, but we don't really want to slow everyone down into there. Let's think about this. We can let it tick along though while we're working this out. What if we went here? Is that better? Does that make this the road and they're both driveways? Maybe. For now we'll just connect this guy a long way around. I don't see this being the only spot we're going to get yellow houses, so we'll just wait to see what the divide is here. We don't want to take too many houses off a circular base. Gained back a few of our bridges, so we'll take another roundabout. We are going the long way around there too, I realise, because this is raised. We can actually just cut through here. We cut even tighter than that. We go there. Oh. Oh. And then we'll get this guy to sort of just join at the back there, just so he's attached, just in case. Okay. So we've now got these two guys here that can operate him, and what we'll do is we'll bounce these guys all the way up there. He's sort of stuck in no man's land. There's our purple house all the way up there. Okay. So this definitely has made this little layout here a little bit more messy. Let's bounce that straight up there. I mean, I could connect these two guys like that, and then have this guy sort of work around the edge. The bridge. We don't have to do anything with these two houses yet anyway. So all they're doing is just creating driveways that aren't impacting this guy, and we can see that he's not even being used at the moment. He's currently just running back up because this guy's so close. Again, that's a little bit tricky, but I guess what we'll do is, again, like I said, we don't want to really lean on our highways too much too early, but we kind of are, because we've already got all 5 on the board. And we haven't even crossed one of the bodies of water yet. Okay, well, that guy's a little bit of a saving grace. Got another double coming up here too. We have a 4th house here. We cross our fingers that this is purple, I hope. I think. we probably want to get this guy connected here then. We want at least 3. 3 for that guy. Luckily, because I've got so many motorways, they're just going to sort of kick into gear straight away. So if I say was to move one of these motorways, this remaining motorway will fill its spot, so that starts to build, starts to work as opposed to having to wait for that motorway to clear. Get this guy in here because he's struggling a little bit. Beautiful, that's what we wanted. Haven't used any of our roundabouts yet, so great. We can leave these guys separate to these two. Now this guy poses an interesting question because he's now the closest guy to this. So in theory, he should be used as sort of like the closest connection, but it's the same for this. So if we go here, maybe connect that guy there. So that claims that motorway, so you can see we've got to wait for this one to clear before they let us use this one, which we now need, because we're going to jump these guys. Let's centralize these guys a little bit more in their direction though. Okay, let's just pause there for a second. 3 of these guys connected. Let's run across to there. Okay, so these two houses here have actually now ended up being by far the closest connection point to this. Let's just get them connected like that. And then we can possibly get rid of this. I mean, these guys are only sort of moving 1 car at a time anyway, so I can't imagine that there's much demand on here. What we can actually do then is getting rid of that. Let's go. Instead, these 3 guys can just cut straight up. Get this guy connected. These 2 guys here, cool. I was about to say, these 2 guys here, we could probably shift that straight up there, because these 2 can just go do that. Now, I mean, if I got... I mean, this guy isn't being used at all, so I will... Can I get in there? Thank you. I'll let these 2 guys sort of connect together and come in there. It's a bit of a clunky connection now. See how it goes. So we've got Just run across there for now. Dip that up a little bit. A little bit cleaner. We'll just take more and more motorways. Why not? What are we up to? Highway 7. Okay, so we've got a little collection of yellow houses here not being used. Let's flip him down because this is a circular and that's not. Connect him because he becomes the closest house to that. Everyone seems to be moving okay at the moment. Move those guys together so we've got a little group. Just hanging out to see what comes up here, I guess. Sort of these ham-coloured ones just sort of taking out the bottom here. Sort of scattering themselves just to block as much as they can, it looks like. Heaps of room over here for more factories and things to show up. We only have one bridge at the moment. We still haven't used a roundabout at all. This guy here I haven't connected, but I suppose if we just sort of connect him like that and finally use one of our infinite traffic lights. I mean, I suppose we can do that for any of these spots where we don't expect these back guys to ever really be used that much, and it's just going to give these guys a straight green light. Nah, because that guy's also using the green light. They might just end up blocking each other a bit more. Okay, we'll have to keep an eye on how he does now that he's gone circular. This guy here I'd like to connect. We can get a roundabout in here somewhere. So pop that down a bit. Guess we gotta wait for that to go away before we can do anything with it. Cool. So then we just put that in there. That to there. That just comes straight in. We'll get these guys connected because they're now definitely the closer unit for him. And we can see these guys are getting used over this, so this has now become the backup. 7 motorways on hand. So with this many motorways on hand, this is where it starts to feel like, alright, well, should I just be using motorways, not just holding on to them? So, for example, this connection here, am I better off just cutting all of that? Actually, let's use a roundabout in this section here. Let's clean this all the way out. All these houses just have their own ways to connect in. Let's chuck Highway 5 in there. Same goes for these guys here. Just make them a little bit more efficient. What we'll do is we'll just check a set of traffic lights there for whichever one of these lots thinks they're closer. We just went circular this guy. Get rid of that and we'll get rid of just all of this. Leave them connected as a reminder that we've got that connected group. This guy here needs more cover. We can see that he's got no one sitting at home. So let's just put them around back there. Let's think about that, because what we've done is we've just given these guys all this journey, whereas what we could possibly do is just flip everyone around this side. Let's drop them there. Also see we've got these two yellow houses that have sprung up in there. Probably just connecting the... Yeah. Possibly we can connect them to there. Depends on who we think needs more attention. We've still got 5 motorways and we've just finally started using our roundabouts, so let's get some roundabouts going. Now the other thing that we need to do now is sort out a couple of these guys. So this guy only has 3 connecting to him. This guy has 3, but he should be fine. He's got more than 3, he's got all of this as well actually. So let's shift this to there. Give him just the 6 to look after him, which means that we've got this 7 here all connected, not going to anything. And while this guy does only have 3 connecting highway 1, so let's grab that and put that there. And then what we can do is flip those guys around. I don't know if I've got a spot for him. See if we can get this sudden surge of all these guys can help out. We do have these guys here that we could also connect. But I mean, we can also go the other way here and just connect these 4 like that. And then just have them as our hotfix team. Or they can now take over these duties here. I mean, is that as good a layout as we're going to get out of them? Just have this guy up here. Okay. This guy here is still sort of overloading, as is he. These guys here are taking care of him and they look fine. What we'll do is we'll grab these 2 guys. Now that's going to slow everyone down as they come in there. Again, we've got so many... so many motorways that what we could possibly do is just try and fix this up a little bit. We're just going to turn these guys around for a second, move him out of the way, and the motorway, shift that motorway there, wait for this part of the motorway to go away. Best spot for that. Go in here. What was that? Send those 2 in there. Would still like more houses going into this if I can. I did just pull him off that one as well, but we'll let him try and fix that one too. Get him off that just so that not a nuisance. You can see no one's at home here, so we want to address this. Let's flick him around that way. And here's what we can do. We can... we've got 4 motorways, so let's get rid of that. Like Highway 10 there. Been really confusing that it's now underneath Highway 1 and they sort of collapse into each other. We'll put an emergency backup Highway 11 in. Hopefully it doesn't cause more harm than good. But what we should see out of Highway 11 is that it just comes in to sort of like send a sudden surge of guys in there to try and help address this. It'll make it messy for a little bit while all these cars come in. But then once it sort of sorts it out, it should mean that they're a little bit better off. Okay, so we've got another house that can come in there. So what we'll do is we'll turn that guy around. But once these all sort of clear through, you can see it's creating basically a backlog here, but they're right at the door. They're waiting just to go in, so it's not as bad as having people sort of really far removed. And eventually it should clean up. And you can see that these guys aren't heading there at all. They're just sort of sitting in their homes because these ones are now taking care of what's left to clean up. So we can get rid of that now. Now what we'll do as well is we'll just pause for a second. Let's just switch these around. Take that and put it there, because this is a very short trip for these guys. And then what we'll do is we'll take that one, put it there. Now this one I think is taking its time to move, because it's waiting for the guys to clear off here before it shifts over. But luckily that didn't seem to have any issues either. Okay, so the next problem is this guy here. He's only got his 2 houses, and this guy here only has his 4. We have a lot of guys down here that are just attached to this yellow road that aren't doing much. But what we do have is this 3 up here as well. So, not 2, it's 9 that's sort of in the way of what we're trying to see. Just make a connection there, and we will, before this becomes a major problem, bounce these guys down here, and no, just make a little bit of road there. Just keep an eye, because we've got these 2 guys here, we can bounce over there as well. He looks okay. Roundabout. Alright, so group of guys down here, we will run along the bottom. Cool. And that's an easy answer for these 2 groups of guys. Sure how that'll work. If that's, I think that's hopefully a driveway, so they don't slow down for that. So pink is still our problem, looks like. It is just these sort of 4 guys here that we can really use to take care of it. Just wait to see. Yeah, I was gonna say, if this guy goes complaining, we'll just send another surge of guys over there to just sort of help out. More purple guys down here. Okay. So another pink one would be that it's going to be this group of guys here that might have to look after him. So we'll just give it a second, let them finish up their sort of cleanup duties. Let's put it back where it was for a second. Move that across. There we go. I'll go a roundabout. Okay, so these guys are currently our concern. There are a fair few guys connected to this. I'm surprised that he's having such a hard time of it. Him as well. What has he got? He's got a pretty hardy population. Look after him. I suppose I can try and sneak that guy around, but he's going to have a painful little turn. He's possibly going to slow traffic down as they come through now. But let's use what we've got. Who do we think is worse off? This guy? Well, yeah, we'll go this guy for now. So we'll just connect that. Get these two guys over there. We do also have a few guys on this edge here that we could use. So it's 4 there. And we've got 2 down here as well. I mean, alternatively, what we could do is connect... just get these guys to roll into that roundabout, just so they don't slow down traffic if they're ever needed. Then what we can do is get rid of that. Just gotta wait for that to go away. Now what we can do is connect. And then once that old one moves, we can shift this. And again, I think it looks worse than it currently is. That it's as I shift all those people towards it, it surges and causes this sort of backlog. But once they sort of get used to the amount of cars that are connected, they will sort of smooth out again. And then it'll become, I'll leave both of those in place at the moment. But what will eventually happen is it'll just be that one of those two is considered the priority route and the other one is the backup. And so the backup one will only go when the priority one's not. And you shouldn't see the same sort of problems. So what are we up to? Highway 13? It's still pink that is really causing us grief. What we could do is we could knock that out there, then just replace it with a motorway. And we can get these two guys to swing around into that roundabout. Just give a few extra houses for pink. Good, another one for this guy. But again, it's pink that looks like to be our surger of the moment. We'll put him on there. So I don't think we've got any pink houses that aren't part of a setup, except for like 3 guys up here that I just can't see because they're under an absolute web of setup. I mean, we can connect that guy there, so all 3 of those houses that are in... I want to move Highway 13, thank you. All 3 of these guys are connected. So I can connect, say, a highway here that they turn around and head back. Or, so I don't think there's any way that I can connect those 2 guys just directly together. So we'll just go for a second to see how we're handling things. Looks like we're okay. This guy here is a little bit unhappy. We have this whole community here not doing anything at the moment. These 3 guys. Let's shift them out the other way. And we'll opt for... I know what we'll opt for is just the closest 3 guys we got, which is these 3 here. Now, possibly as well, these guys can take over the heavy lifting of this. Okay, so this guy here has now just gone circular, so what we'll do is connect these, just 3 guys in there. This guy here, he's only got the 3 houses, so we will take these 2 houses, pop them over there. Good. We're starting to run low on motorways after just using motorway 16. Okay, he's apparently losing a battle, it looks like. So let's flip him around. This guy here is also losing a battle. So let's just do a quick assist with this lot. See, that's becoming a pretty bad gridlock there. But I possibly have just made much worse. I usually say they're getting better, but in this particular case, I think I've made major problems. As long as traffic can start to flow, we're okay, but... Oh, nah, I've broken that one. Oh! As long as these guys can start to roll, I mean, it's okay, but... There's just the guys who just can't get out of the car park. That was my bad. Screwed that one up. Oh, well, there we go. 5,500. See how that holds up. Top 5%. 250. Yeah. Oh, that was a poor final move from me there. Anyway, thanks for watching. Any questions or comments, feel free to chuck them below. But till next time, catch you later. See ya.